How you doing, YouTube? So today, it's been something that I've been thinking about how to get out there and express to y'all. And with that said, I continue to get these questions about, George, what makes you an expert? How do you become an expert? Or even, are you an expert? And I want to answer this question, number one, once and for all the viewers out there, so they can understand what an expert is or how you acquire knowledge. And then ultimately, understanding what society is going, where these novel peptides are taking our pharmacology, and truly understand how longevity is going to look in the next 10 to 15 years. So first things I want to say to everyone is, number one is, nobody's really an expert. What we are is individuals that have the ability and access to information, and we've acquired that information. And I believe that we're all obligated to be able to give back that information. So with that said, some individuals have access to this information and some individuals don't. Now, that does make you an expert, probably more knowledgeable in the subject. But what I like to clear up here is that me personally, as a educated, knowledge-based individual in this field, understand I'm not an MD or a DO. However, I did go to those schools and I was in the process of creating USMLE testing for doctors to become licensed medical practitioners. But with that said, I quickly realized in my educational path that saving individuals one patient at a time was not going to be my role. And I felt that being able to train and educate was my role. And I quickly turned to medicinal biochemistry and pharmacology. And I felt getting it out there to the masses and be able to educate them was extremely important. So again, not that I have anything wrong, and before everybody comments about, poo-pooing on the managed healthcare systems and doctors that are MDs, and listen, there's a reason they're out there. There's a reason we treat sick people. The reason we have the managed healthcare system. And ultimately, I felt in my direction, what I can give back to society at this point was not that. Again, I wasn't going to save the world one patient at a time. How I'm going to do that is be able to offer information that I have and be able to express that. And now, the beautiful thing with YouTube is I have the ability to be able to give that information back in a platform that allows access to that. There's one thing I want everybody to understand at this point, because this is going to take all of us, right? It's again, not one expert just spouting off or influencer, giving the next big thing, right? It's going to take all of us together to understand how these things, these novel peptides, and how society and pharmacy and medicine is going to perpetuate the race, right? So everyone's input means something. Because ultimately we don't have any long-term knowledge. So none of us are experts, we're learning day by day, but it takes all of us. And I want everybody to understand that's not one individual and one person's way. That information that we can compile and over time develop so that we can really truly understand where these novel peptides are going, I commend you. Please comment, let us know. There's always going to be somebody out there that has anecdotal information that may be extremely important to how we develop these things. With that said, a couple things. Number one is, if we stay alive for the next 10 years, there's a good chance we have the ability to stay alive for the next 50. And this is where pharmacy is going. This is where these peptides are taking us. And I want to end this with an analogy. Okay, and that analogy, I don't know if anybody's aware of, but in the US, we have had native Indians here. And those native Indians used to hunt buffalo. And they used to do this thing called the buffalo jump. Not sure if anyone knows exactly what this is. But ultimately, they would get the buffalo all herded up and riled up and running in a specific direction. And everybody's going to see how this analogy works out with society, but stay with me. And of course, they're all running scared in one direction, and they just chase them off a cliff. And the buffalo just run right off the cliff. And that's how they killed the buffalo when they needed to harvest. However, the key point to this, the takeaway, is not all the buffalo ran off the cliff. 20% of those buffalo decided they were going to run a different way. What does this all mean, George? Well, what it means is the buffalo today are the ancestors of the buffalo that didn't run off the cliff. I don't know if anyone can understand where I'm going with this, but what I want you to understand is that it takes society and takes all of us moving in a direction that can perpetuate medicine, can perpetuate longevity, perpetuate this knowledge of where we're going and why. And with that said, we are the ancestors of the knowledge that was given before us. And what I'm saying to all of you, you will be the knowledge that's given from us to perpetuate race and move forward. Keep this in mind when you're out there and possibly seeing these negative comments and all this fluff about, you don't know what you're talking about. Listen, none of us know what we're talking about. We only have the information we can go on. But for all of us to be able to perpetuate society, perpetuate the race, we want to make sure that that 20% of us that may not, they might bunk heads a little bit and it might not seem realistic. I'm going to tell you right now, 20 years down the road, maybe it will. Key takeaway, everyone, this is where we need to go together. Any information, feedback, comments, any topics that you're looking for me to go over, I want to hear it. I want to hear it. So please comment, subscribe, click that bell thingy. I don't know what it really does, but ultimately, as I start putting out content, we can be in this together and get this information out there so we can all be sound, all live longer, and be healthier. Until next time.